Some love stories don't end because the love disappears. They end because the love becomes too heavy to carry. And in Our Fault, Nick and Noah's story doesn't break quietly. It breaks in a way that hurts. Because the truth is, sometimes two people can love each other deeply and still lose each other in the end. This is not just a romance. This is the final chapter of a love that was beautiful, messy, and painful. And when it ends, it leaves you asking one question: was it really their fault? Nick and Noah's story has never been simple. From the very beginning, their love felt like fire. It was strong, fast, and impossible to ignore. But fire can warm you, and it can burn you too. And now, in the final part of their story, we see something different. Not the excitement, not the chasing, not the sweet moments that made them feel like they were meant to be. This time, we see what happens when love has been tested too many times. When feelings are still there but peace is gone, this final chapter begins with a strange kind of silence. It's not the silence of calm. It's the silence of two hearts that are tired. Nick still looks at Noah like she is the only person in his world, but something inside him has changed. And Noah, she still loves him, but she doesn't feel safe anymore. She doesn't know what version of Nick she will get. The soft one, the broken one, or the angry one. And this is where the story becomes emotional. Because both of them are standing in the same place, but their hearts are not. They are holding on and also letting go at the same time. Noah wants to believe that love can fix everything. That if she stays, if she tries harder, they will finally be okay. But deep down, she knows love is not the only thing they need. They need trust. They need peace. They need to stop hurting each other. Nick, on the other hand, loves Noah in a way that feels too intense. He doesn't know how to love slowly. He loves like he's afraid she will leave any second. And when you love like that, you don't just love, you cling. You control, you panic, and Nick's fear becomes a problem. Because instead of protecting Noah, he ends up pushing her away. So this chapter is not about how they fall in love. We already know that part. This chapter is about what happens after love, when the pain is still there, when mistakes keep repeating, and when the biggest fight is not outside them, but inside them. Because the truth is, Nick and Noah are not fighting each other. They are fighting their past, their fears, their pride. And when those things take control, love starts to feel like a storm. And storms don't always end with sunshine. Sometimes they end with goodbye. At first, the problems between Nick and Noah don't look like the end. They look like another fight, another rough night, another moment that will pass. Because that's how their love always worked. They break, they cry, they pull away, and then they run back to each other like nothing else matters. But this time, something is different. This time, the damage doesn't heal the way it used to. This time, the pain stays. The biggest reason their love starts collapsing is not because they stop caring. It's because they keep hurting each other in the same way, again and again. Noah feels like she is always trying to save the relationship, always trying to keep it alive even when she is the one getting tired. She loves Nick, but love is starting to feel like a job. Like she has to keep proving that she deserves peace, that she deserves respect, that she deserves honesty. And Nick, he's not a bad person, but he is a person full of fear. He doesn't trust easily, and when he feels insecure, he reacts in the worst way. He says things he shouldn't. He makes choices that feel like betrayal. Sometimes he thinks if he acts strong, he won't feel weak. But the truth is, his pride becomes his biggest enemy. Instead of saying, "I'm scared to lose you," he becomes cold. Instead of asking for love, he pushes Noah away like she's the problem. And Noah has her own wounds too. She wants to believe in love so badly, but every time Nick breaks her trust, a part of her closes. She doesn't stop loving him, but she stops feeling safe. And when a person doesn't feel safe, they start watching every word, every look, every small change. They start feeling like they are walking on glass. That's when love becomes anxiety instead of comfort. The relationship turns into a cycle. One moment they are holding each other like the world is ending. The next moment they are arguing like strangers. And the sad part is, they both know it's happening. They both feel the relationship slipping. But neither one knows how to stop. Nick wants Noah to stay, but he doesn't know how to treat her gently. Noah wants to stay, but she doesn't know how to survive the chaos. So they keep doing what they always do: fight, forgive, repeat. Until the day comes when the fight doesn't end with forgiveness, because some love stories don't break in. One big moment, they break in small pieces: a lie here, a cold word there, a night where no one says sorry. And slowly, the love is still there. But the relationship is gone, and that's the most painful truth of all. They didn't lose love. They lost each other. The ending of Nick and Noah's story doesn't feel like a dramatic breakup. It feels like something even worse. A quiet moment where two people finally understand they can't keep doing this anymore. And that's what makes it so emotional, because they don't stop loving each other. They just reach a point where love is no longer enough to keep them together. In the final moments, you can feel how heavy everything has become. Noah doesn't look angry anymore. She looks tired, like someone who has cried too many times and now has no tears left. She stands there, not as the girl who once ran toward Nick, but as someone who has finally learned that pain is not proof of love. She still cares, but she can't keep losing herself to stay with him. And Nick looks like a person who realizes too late what he had. He isn't acting tough anymore. He isn't trying to win the argument. He is just standing in front of the one person who made him feel real. And he knows he might be watching her walk away forever. This is the moment where the story becomes deeper than romance. Because the ending is not about who was right or wrong. It's about two people who were never healed before they found each other. They met while they were still broken, and instead of fixing each other, they kept touching the same wounds until the wounds turned into scars. If you look closely, the ending shows something important. Noah chooses herself. Not because she doesn't love Nick, but because she finally understands that love should not feel like fear. She understands that staying in a storm doesn't make her strong. It just makes her lose her peace. And Nick's ending is painful in a different way. He doesn't lose Noah because she stops caring. He loses her because he didn't learn how to hold love gently. He loved too hard, too fast, too wild. And instead of making Noah feel protected, his love made her feel trapped. That's why the final goodbye feels unfinished. Because it is unfinished. Their hearts still have words left. Their eyes still carry feelings. But sometimes, the most heartbreaking goodbyes are the ones where people don't hate each other. They just know they can't survive each other. So when the story ends, it doesn't say, "This love was fake." It says, "This love was real, but it was also destructive." And that's the meaning behind the title, Our Fault, not one person's fault. Not only Nick, not only Noah, but both of them together. Two people who loved each other with everything. Except the one thing they needed most. Peace. After the ending, the most painful part is not the goodbye itself. The most painful part is what comes after, the silence. The empty space where a person used to be, the routine that suddenly breaks, the messages that never come, the moments where your hand reaches for someone who is no longer yours. And that's what Nick and Noah are left with. Not just heartbreak, but the shock of learning how to live without each other. Noah walks away, but she doesn't walk away as someone who won. She walks away as someone who survived. Because for a long time she thought love meant staying no matter what. She thought love meant forgiving every mistake, holding on through every storm, and proving she could handle pain. But the ending teaches her something stronger. Love is not supposed to destroy you. Love is supposed to give you peace. And when love becomes a constant battle, it stops being love and becomes a wound. So Noah's ending is not just sadness. It is growth. It is the moment she chooses herself, not because she is selfish, but because she finally understands her worth. She finally understands that her heart is not something to keep sacrificing just to keep someone close. Leaving Nick becomes the hardest thing she has ever done. And also the bravest. Nick's aftermath is different. Nick doesn't just lose a girl. He loses the one person who saw him clearly. The one person who stayed even when she shouldn't have. And when she leaves, he is forced to face the truth he avoided for so long. That love is not just about feelings. Love is about actions. It is about trust. It is about safety. And Nick realizes too late that his fear and pride didn't protect him. They destroyed what mattered most. That's why his pain hits deeper. Because he knows Noah didn't leave because she didn't love him. She left because she finally loved herself enough to stop bleeding. And knowing that makes Nick's regret heavier, because if she had stopped caring, it would have been easier to accept. But she didn't. She loved him. She just couldn't stay, and that is the real lesson of our fault. Sometimes two people are not meant to end up together, even if their love is strong.